very good evening to all. So, sorry. So let's start our session. Actually, what we are planning on this webinar, it is nothing but through this webinar, we are going to give you a clear picture about um, how you can learn AI, and which means we are actually going to discuss the learning path. Okay, so what are the ways that you can start from very scratch, and how to, for example, if you want to um, get a job that is related to AI, so what are the ways that you can look for the placements? So what are the things that you have to adopt or learn for that typical placements? Okay, so these are the main things that we are going to discuss in this webinar. Okay, um, so let's start our session. So before going to start, my name is Anish. I am the CEO and co-founder of Logic Space Technologies Private Limited, and yeah, we are actually the corporate trainers of many MNCs, and we are delivering sessions in the corporate companies as well as the colleges in the Kerala. Okay, um, yeah, let's start our session. So hope I am audible to you, right? So just put X in the chat box if you are able to listen me. If I am okay, getting X. Okay, thank you. Yes. So AI, right? Actually, now AI is a typical hot word that is widely used in our IT industry. Not only limited to IT industry. Now you can um, see this hot word in each and every career options. Right? In the medical field, you can see AI. In the engineering fields, in the non-IT fields, right? In each and every industry, you can now see this uh, keyword AI, right? So also you have heard about some news regarding to job loss, right? Which means there are plenty of layoffs are happening due to the revolution of AI, as very similar to what actually happened years ago when computer introduced in the industry, right? So similar to that, actually due in that computer revolution time, most of them actually feared that they would lose the job, but actually what actually happened, um, lot of job opportunities erased due to the revolution of that computers. So similar to that, now it's a time for AI revolution, right? So in this thing, you have to understand the same concept, which means definitely AI will definitely affect lot of placement opportunities. That's a reality. Okay, but you have to understand that there are plenty of job opportunities are also there. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about that part also, right? Okay, so before going to start, first of all, you have to understand why AI and why we are discussing that thing right now. Actually, now we are in the evolution of AI that I have discussed earlier, and actually that AI is very popular due to Chat GPT, right? So uh, after the Chat GPT, we have right now Gemini, DeepSeek, plenty of GPT platforms or that type of things are there, and now we are actually also depending on these platforms, ChatGPT or Gemini or uh, DeepSeek, or we are actually depending on AI for each and every uh, our daily task, right? If we want to do some daily task, we are actually depending upon this. We are actually definitely relying on these chat GPTs or any other LLM platforms. We will discuss that thing later. But you have to understand that due to that erase after the 2020 that GPT released, and you have to understand that chat GPT is actually a platform that uses the concept of generative AI. So don't worry about all those these keywords. We will discuss each and everything in detail right now. Got it? And there are plenty of real world applications right now, and due to that there is a high demand for that AI. And also there are plenty of job opportunities are there in the field of data scientists, ML engineers, data analysts, AI developers. There are plenty of job opportunities are there. When we compare about our traditional associate software engineering jobs, there are plenty of other jobs are there. So today we are going to discuss about that one too. Got it? So first of all, which means we are actually going to discuss each and everything in detail. So if you want to learn AI, got it? If you are planning to learn AI in detail, first you should have a solid foundation in mathematics. That's a reality. Okay, you should have a strong knowledge in mathematics. So when we say about the strong foundations in mathematics, might be how to think about the double integrations, differentiations. Actually, I'm not discussing about that part. I You should need a proper knowledge in especially linear algebra. Got it? Especially in the concept of linear algebra, vectors, matrices, that's tensor, uh, then the calculus things, probability and statistics part. Okay, so uh, this is the basic foundation that you mathematical foundations that you need for learning AI. That's a reality. And when you try to learn AI in with the help of YouTube or any other Udemy platforms, they never mentioned about these mathematical concepts, right? They actually write that pseudo code initially. Okay, so that's not a good practice, because you should have a proper foundations in AI, foundations in mathematics, because you have to understand the concepts of algorithms properly if you know the basic mathematical foundations. So if you are really planning to learn AI, you should have a strong knowledge in these concepts. Might be you are uh, surprised that vectors, what is the role of vectors and metrics? Maybe you have learned the concept of matrix multiplication, matrix transformation, right? Transpose, right? There are plenty of concepts that you have already learned during your engineering or a plus two time. Actually, this is the thing that we want here. If you want, maybe now it's trending this prompt, right? If you have a photo, and definitely now it's a trending that you can upload your photo and give a prompt, then you will get your retro image, then maybe that transformed image that you want, maybe with a book or a professional image or whatever the things that you want. You just put the prompt, right? So when you put the prompt and when you give the image, what is actually happening? It is generating a new image. So how they are generating new image? So you have to understand that the concepts that behind is vectors, metrics, all those concepts. That's a mathematical foundation behind this image generation concept. Got it. So that's why I have mentioned that you should have a proper foundation in mathematics. If you are really planning to if you're really planning to learn AI, and if you wish to um, make AI as a career, then definitely you should have a proper knowledge in this thing, right? I'm not discussing about the integration, double integration. That's a um, that's not the thing, but this is the main thing that you want. And if you should have a proper knowledge in probability and statistics, which means uh, I think you have already learned so many concepts in probability and statistics, which means um, lot of distributions, normal distributions, Poisson distribution, uniform distributions, right? And that is actually helpful for analyzing the data. If you want to analyze the data, and if you want to do some visualizations, so that type of part you should have a proper knowledge in probability and statistics. Got it. Which means if you are planning to enter into a job called data analyst, okay, data analyst, you should have a proper knowledge in these things, probability and statistics. That's very important thing. Got it. So mathematics is the basic foundation for AI. Okay, so let's move to the next part. Okay, so that's the first thing. If you are really planning to enter into the AI, first you have to understand the concepts of mathematics, then programming. So which language that you have to choose for programming? Okay, so if you have a strong mathematical foundation in foundations, then next step you should go to the programming part. So actually in the programming part, most of them prefer Python, right? You already had a lot of, maybe you have had a lot of libraries called NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Scikit-learn, TensorFlow. There are plenty of libraries are available for Python. So that's why Python is very popular in AI or machine learning applications. And if you are really interested, I will suggest one more programming language, that is R. R is also a popular programming language that you can uh, look. Okay, R. This is the one, right? R. So this is one of the popular programming language that you can use for statistical computing, machine learning, AI. Okay, so you can also look this programming language R. Okay, R is very popular right now. Okay, so it's also a very easy programming language similar to uh, Python. R has also a lot of libraries. Okay, so if you wish to learn R, you can download R from this website and you can try it. Got it. And actually we are planning to conduct a free session on R programming language later. Okay, so try to join. So what next? So this is a basic thing that you have to understand, that I prefer Python as well as R. So among this, Python is very popular, but R is also very popular if you want to do some statistical operations, which means here I have mentioned about probability and statistics part, also visualization, that part. So if your work is related to that statistical part or a probability part, R is the better language than Python. Got it. So this is a concept that you have to understand. Okay, so next part, what is AI? So this is the concept that you have to understand, that why, what is AI right now, right? So AI is nothing but it is imitating human intelligence. Okay, so that is the only thing that you have to understand. It is nothing but uh, we are actually making our machines capable of thinking or acting like humans. Okay, so we are giving intelligence to the machines, right? So that is the thing that you have to understand, the concept of AI, right? We are actually uh, making the machines performing the tasks that normally a human man can do, right? This is the concept of AI. And maybe you have heard about machine learning. Actually, machine learning is a subset of AI. It is nothing but it is actually learning the patterns from the data and make some predictions. Okay, if we have a data, it learn from that data and making some predictions. That is the concept of machine learning. AI is nothing but it is actually it's actually creating some intelligence, but it's a machine learning is a subset of AI. uh, it is actually how ML works. It is based on the data. Maybe you have heard about the term data set. If you have a proper data set, you can train the machines. Got it? You can train your machine and you can do some predictions, that type of things, which means nothing but it is actually learning from the data and do the predictions. So you have to understand that it is a subset of um, AI. And next part, the deep learning. Deep learning, these three are the main keyword that you have to understand: AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So AI is an umbrella. So in that we have a subset called machine learning, and we have another subset for deep learning is a subset for this machine learning. Got it? So this is the thing that you have to understand. Machine learning is nothing but it is actually learning from the data and just do some predictions, right? But deep learning is nothing but it's a new concept. Deep learning is a new concept that is introduced just few years ago. But in this concept, there is a difference, because in the machine learning, it is actually learning from the data and just do some predictions. But deep learning is nothing but it is actually learning from the data, but they will do some neural networks. It is actually using some deep learning, deep neural networks. Got it? Which means maybe you have heard about the term neurons, which means nothing but, wait, I will just give. When you just take the Google, uh, when you put AI, when you when you search for an AI image, you are seeing these type of images, brain related images. See, right? Got it? Actually, you have to understand that this means actually the deep learning part. So you have to understand that in our human brain there are millions and billions of neurons are there. Okay, so actually what deep learning is that it is actually creating artificial neurons. Artificial neurons. So with the help of artificial neurons, it is creating that intelligence. So for that you have to learn the concept of deep learning. In that deep learning there are plenty of neural networks. Maybe you have heard about CNN, ANN, RNN, that type of FCNN, that type of neural networks are there. Got it. So this is nothing but artificial neurons, and you have to understand one thing. Um, we are using nearly 10,000 artificial neurons, but in human brain we have billions of neurons are there, which means you have to understand that still humans are so intelligent than AI. But you have to understand that we can't we have some laziness, we can't work as comparing to machines, we can't work like machines, because we have like laziness, we can't concentrate on something more than hours, right? So that type of things are there, but machines don't have laziness. Okay, so they don't have tiredness. So that 10,000 neurons, artificial neurons, is so enough to imitate human intelligence. Got it. So this is the main concept that you have to understand, this deep learning part. Okay, so in normal machine learning, it is actually just learning from the data and doing some predictions. But in the deep learning part, it will create artificial neurons. Okay, it will create artificial neurons, and based on that we will do that type of predictions. Okay, there are plenty of artificial neurons are there, neural networks are there, a CNN, FCNN, RCNN, that's a different story, but you have to understand the simple concept. Okay, so it is very good for images, text, audio, that type of things. For example, maybe in most of the smartphones we have a feature that we can extract image, we can extract text from the image. Nowadays it's very common in the mobile phones. For example, we have a photo, we can extract the text from that photo. For that type of purposes we will use deep learning. Got it. For example, if you want to uh, do some classifications, for example, if you have a set of images of cat and dogs, okay, if you want to create a machine, if you want to create a AI model that needs to identify or classify dog and a cat, so for that part also you have to use the deep learning concept. For example, if you want to implement a facial recognition system, nowadays is very common in the smartphones also, we have a face ID or that type of things, right? So for that type of facial recognition systems, deep learning is the thing that you have to use. Got it. So these are the main three things in the AI. Got it. You have to understand what is AI. It is nothing but there. It is actually imitating the human intelligence. For example, the chatbot. So machine learning, it is nothing but if you have a set of data, it will do some predictions. For example, if you have a data of gold price, last 3 months gold price in Kerala. So I need to predict the gold price of gold price in next Monday. So what will be the price of gold in on next Monday based on that data? For that type of things, I need a machine learning, because it will learn from that data and will do some predictions. Got it? So you should understand that type of properties. And in the machine learning, we have supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement. These are the main three techniques in machine learning concepts. Got it. These are the main three concepts in machine learning. So first one is supervised learning, second one is unsupervised learning, Last one is reinforcement. Supervised learning is nothing but it is very similar to um, teach a student. For example, if you have a baby in your home, or if you want to teach something to a student or a particular person, for example, I'm taking this pen. Okay, so actually this is pen. So I am just uh, actually showing this pen to the baby. Okay, just think about some real world scenario. So this is a pen. i'm just I'm just taking this pen and show this pen to the baby and saying that this is pen. Likewise, I'm saying this is a remote. Got it? So which means I am training that baby that this is remote, this is pen, and this is t-shirt, this is specs. So similarly, I am training a particular uh, training with the help of the data sets. I am actually training the student with the data. Then later I will show a particular item and ask for the baby, so what is this item? So similar to in the similar way, the supervised learning techniques work. Supervised learning. So supervised learning is nothing but it is actually we have a data, we have a labeled data. So with the help of labeled data, we will do the training. For example, I will show a simple labeled data. See this. This is a simple labeled data, height, weight. So this is a labeled data, right? So height is 150, weight is 45, height is 170, weight is 52, height is 180, weight is 95, height is 190, weight is 120. So this is a data set and this is a labeled data set. So you have to understand that labeled data is using for supervised learning techniques. Got it? For in the case of supervised learning techniques, you have to use labeled data. Got it? You have to use labeled data. And next step is unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is nothing but we don't have a labeled data. Okay, we don't have a labeled data. For example, I am running, just imagine that I am the owner of Lulu Mall. Okay, so I am the owner of the Lulu Mall. I would like to know there are plenty of shoppers come and they are actually doing the shopping. So I don't have a particular labeled data, which means I have that building information, right? How much they are spending on each and every month, or each and every day, how much amount that they are spending in the Lulu Mall. That information I have. Okay, so based on this data, I don't know the how many of them have high income and high shopping capacity. Maybe somehow low income but high shopping. Somehow high income but they have less shopping tendency. So we have to cluster it based on that data. So we don't have a labeled data information of how many of them are high shoppers, how many of them are low shoppers based on the income. Okay, so we don't have a labeled data, we have a set of unlabeled data about their shopping information. So based on that, I am clustering some information and make some clusters. So that is called supervised learning techniques. Okay, so if you don't have a labeled data, you have to use supervised learning techniques. So unsupervised learning techniques. If you have a labeled data, you have to use supervised learning techniques. If you don't have a labeled data, then you have to use unsupervised learning concepts. For example, YouTube predictions. YouTube don't know what is the next thing that you are going to play, but they are giving some recommendations based on your data. So that type of thing is in the unsupervised learning. Similar to Spotify, Amazon Prime, Netflix, all those are using unsupervised learning techniques. If you have a labeled data, you have to use supervised learning techniques. And if you don't have any data, if you want to learn from the environment, for example, a floor cleaning robot, okay, a floor cleaning robot. If you want to build a floor cleaning robot, then you have to use reinforcement learning techniques, which means there you don't have any data. You have to learn from the environment, and based on that they will give some reward, penalties, that type of rules are there. I will explain that reinforcement learning in detail on any other scenarios, right? So you have to understand the concepts properly about the machine learning. So those who wish to learn machine learning concepts, so you should have a basic foundation in mathematics. Next thing, you should have a proper knowledge in machine learning concepts. So this is the way that you have to work. First, mathematical foundations needed. Next, you have to learn machine learning concepts. Got it? Machine learning concepts. So supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. In that, you have to learn supervised learning techniques initially. That is the best way. So I will just give a demo. See this, I have a simple data set. Height, weight. Got it. So I would like to just imagine that it's a height and weight of 6 people, right? How many data is there? 6 data, right? So I need to predict the weight of the person who has height 160. This is the thing that I need to do. I need to predict the weight of the person who has height 160 centimeter. So here we have a labeled data. So since we have a labeled data, you can use supervised learning techniques. So I will just explain one supervised learning techniques, that's called KNN algorithm, right? KNN. Yes. I will just explain some simple algorithm, then you will get the idea why we need the basic mathematical foundations. KNN. Actually, based on that KNN algorithm, I am going to predict what this height of the person, weight of the person who has height 160 centimeter. Got it? So this is the mathematical thing that you have to understand. For first, what is KNN? KNN is nothing but K nearest neighbor algorithm. K nearest neighbor algorithm. So K nearest algorithm means first you have to find, actually what is the thing that you have to find? You have to find the weight of the person who has height 160. So what do you have to do? You have to do this thing. Wait. Yes. You have to take the distance from, what is the thing that you have to compute? Weight of the person who has height 160. So you have to take the difference between the distance between height 160 and height of the existing people. For example, 160 minus 150. So height will be, distance will be 10. 160 minus 170. Distance is 10. 160 minus 180. Distance is 20. 160 minus 190. Distance 30. 160 minus 130. Distance 30. 160 minus 125. Distance is 35. So first we have to find the distance between our new height and existing height. Then what you have to do? If k is equal to 3, I am just giving k value as 3. What is KNN? K nearest neighbor algorithm. So if k is equal to 3, this will be the answer. If k is equal to 3, what you have to do? So you have to take 3 shortest distance. So here 10, 10, 20. These are the things that we have to take. Okay. So we can ignore 190, 130 and 125. So what we have to do? Just take the average weight of these 3 short distance, which means 45 plus 52 plus 95. The whole divided by 3. So 192 by 3, 64. So you just understand that this is an algorithm. K nearest neighbor algorithm. K nearest neighbor algorithm. Suppose if I am giving k value as 2, I will get nearly 45 plus 52 by 2. So nearly I am getting 48.5. So here k is equal to 3 I have given. Then I got 64. So then maybe you will ask how to give the correct k value. So there are plenty of things are there. I will discuss that thing later. Okay. So this is an algorithm. Got it. So when we do, when we plot this height and weight like this, you have to understand. We will take if k is equal to 3, we will find nearest 3 neighbors, right? And we will find the average. So here we will get 64. Then 64 will be the weight of the person who has height 160. So this is a typical algorithm. Got it? I'm just going to give a simple demo. I'm not going to explain any code, that type of things. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So I have a data set. See this? The same data. I have the same data. The height, weight. Now you're thinking that it is CSV format, right? CSV is nothing but comma separated values. That is a format. Comma separated values. That is a format here. But you have to understand, I'm just write a simple code for finding the height of 160. Sorry, find the weight of the person who has height 160 if nearest neighbor is 3. So I'm just executing and just showcasing the output. First I have explained the mathematical way, how I find. Then Python 3, I'm just using Python 3 space KNN. Okay. See this? Oh, sorry, there is a graph is there. Okay, fine. What happened? Yes. See this? Weight is 64. The same thing that I got as when we compute mathematically, the same thing that I got. If I give k is equal to 2, then you can see I will get 48.5. I will get 48.5. See this, 48.5. Got it. Okay. So the program is actually very simple. I am not going to explain. This is only few lines. This is a simple machine learning program. So just few lines source code is there, but first of all you have to understand the concepts properly, how these algorithms are working. So you have to understand the concepts properly. First you have to understand the mathematical concepts properly, then programming will be very easy for you. Got it? So um, let's, now it's 45 minutes over, so now it's time to ask your doubts. If you have any doubts, please let me know. If you have any doubts, you can ask right now. If you have any doubts, just unmute and speak if you have any doubts. You can also speak in Malayalam, no problem. You can ask your doubts. If you don't have any doubts, just put N in the chat box. And one thing that I need to mention, those who have wait, Shabir Ali, details about our program, that will update you soon. Just follow Link Your Code's Instagram page. We will update about that program. Okay. Okay. So attendance is mandatory for this webinar for getting the participation certificates. So after some time, I will give you the QR code, and just scan the QR code and mark your attendance. Okay. So attendance is mandatory for issuing the participation certificates from our end. So don't forget to scan the QR code and um, mark your attendance. Just fill that form. It's a Google form. So just scan your QR code and just uh, give your name and email ID, and you must give the email ID that you have used for the registration. So that is the main thing that you have to understand. Okay. And um, for those who are watching from YouTube, you have to follow the same method. You can scan the QR code and must fill that Google form, and don't forget to give the correct email address that you have given during the registration time. And we will close that Google form within 10 minutes after the session. Up to 10 minutes after the session you can fill that form. Okay. Okay, so you don't have any further doubts? Okay. Okay. So this is the thing that you have to understand. You must know the mathematical foundations, then try to learn the source code, right? So that's why I have mentioned earlier. First, you have to understand the mathematical foundation, then programming, right? This is the thing that you should understand. First, you should have a proper mathematical foundation knowledge. Okay. So I'm just going to give a quick demo about one more algorithm. Okay, so that's called linear regression. Okay, so linear regression algorithm. Okay. In this algorithm, I'm going to find the height of the person who, I'm going to find the weight of the person who has height 160 centimeter using linear regression algorithm. So in this algorithm, you have to understand that first you have to plot uh, the graph, which means here I am plotting the xy graph. X is the height and y is the weight. Why I am putting weight in the y axis? Because I need to find the weight. So that's why I just put that thing in the y axis. So first you have to plot your graph like this. Got it? Plot your graph like this. Okay. Then what you have to do? You have to, in the case of linear regression, another mathematical property, you have to find the best fit line. You have to find the best fit line that should have a minimum error. For example, I am plotting a line like this. I am plotting a line like this. This is not a best fit line. This is not a best fit line. Why I am saying that that's called not a best fit line? Because the distance between other points is very high. Right. So just think about another line. Here also distance to 2 points. Rest of the points okay. 120, 130, 150, that's okay. But 180 and 190 points are so far away from this line. So that's not a best fit line. Okay, so let's think about this line. This is not also a perfect line because the error is very high while comparing with the other weights. Got it? So how to draw a perfect line? So you have to understand that if there is a line that have a minimum error, then we can easily find the value of 160 by extrapolating that thing with the y-axis. Got it? So here you have to understand the concept of linear regression. Here you should understand that we have an equation called y is equal to mx plus c. That is the equation that you have to use for drawing a line with the slope. Y is equal to mx plus c. So here you have to understand how to find m and how to find c. X is the 160. X is the value that you have to find. X is equal to 160 and you have to find m and c. And this is the equation that I am not mentioning about the equation. By solving this thing, you have to find m and c. M is nothing but m is equal to sigma xi minus x bar ya minus y bar the whole divided by sigma xi minus x bar the whole square. So these are about the things that you have already learned in the mathematics, right? So that's why I have mentioned that you should have a proper foundation in the mathematics knowledge, right? So here you have to find m with the help of that equation. Once you have find the m, you have to find c. So here I am just finding the m first. M is the slope. Maybe you know that. What is the equation of a line? Y is equal to mx plus c. So m is the slope. Got it. And c is the constant. So if you want to find the slope, this is the equation that you have already learned in the mathematics. This is not a new equation. This is the already a equation that you have already learned in the mathematics, right? So whatever it is, just do the thing, and ultimately I found the slope. M is equal to, I got 1.252, right? M is equal to 1.252 and I need to find the c. C is equal to y bar minus mx bar. Then just gives the values in that and I got C value as minus 135.0, minus 135.0. Then you have to understand that now I got the equation as 1 point, now I got the equation as 1.252 something something x minus 135. So if you want to find the height of the person who, sorry, weight of the person who has height 160, then do the equation 1.252 into 160, so 200 minus 135.00, okay, whatever it is. See, this height is 65.32. Got it. So height will be 65.4 or 64.3. Got it. So this is the mathematical part of the algorithm, linear regression. Got it. Okay, so you have to understand these concepts. If you write this in the program, you just have few lines. You just have few lines if you want to write, for example, wait. I'm just going to write that code. Okay, find.py. Okay, so extension missing dot py. So here I am implementing linear regression algorithm. So in the source code you don't know anything about that y is equal to mx plus c, what is the equation for finding m, what is the equation for finding the c value. You don't bother about that part, because in the coding we have functions for that. See this, we have a library called scikit-learn, we have functions, we have only few lines. I am using the same data set, so I'm just going to the doing the prediction. Then you can see model dot predict. So just predict the height of the person who has, weight of the person who has height 160. So I'm just executing the code, then you can see the answer. See this 65.46. See, in the source code it's only few lines, just count the lines. Okay, I am putting all those things in, removing all those. See this, only 9 lines, and you can also ignore this line also. Only 8 lines for this is a typical AI, and here you are not aware about those equations. Y is equal to mx plus b, m, how to find m, how to find c. So that's why I have mentioned that in the programming perspective it is very easy, but if you want to learn this thing properly, you have to find the mathematical perspective properly for any algorithm. For example, I have currently demonstrated KNN and linear regression. The same thing are applicable to other algorithms. For example, decision tree, random forest, SVM, whatever the algorithm, there is a mathematical part. Got it? So if you understand that concept properly, then programming will be very easy. Learning that program or coding, that's only few lines. You just think that only 8 lines for a typical AI program. This is training. You have to understand that this is the training part, this line, which means all the computations that I have demonstrated here. See this, all the computations that I have demonstrated here, that's a one line there, that fit function. See this, all the computations that is only one line here, fit. This is the function for training and this is the function for prediction. Got it? So I am actually giving you a clear picture about how easy is AI. AI is very easy if you understand that mathematical concepts properly. Otherwise, you don't know how it works. Right? If you want the source code, you can just rely on ChatGPT or anything. But understanding the concepts properly, that's the main thing. Got it? Okay. So this is the way that I am just giving a clear picture. First, learn Max, then do some learn Python, then try to explore machine learning. In the machine learning, first you have to learn supervised learning models, then unsupervised learning models, then uh, reinforcement learning, then deep learning. That is a way that you have to follow. Got it? I just give a demonstration a little bit later. One more demonstration. Okay. So understand that concepts properly. Got it? So after learning all the machine learning concepts, then you have to learn the deep learning part. Deep learning. So deep learning, it is nothing but you have to understand some extra things here, which means in normal machine learning, right, just a minute, I'm just going to change. Okay. In normal machine learning, it is just learning that data and just do some predictions. But in the deep learning, we have the concept of neurons. That's why I mentioned about artificial neurons. In our brains, there are plenty of millions of neurons are there, but uh, similarly, we have the concept of artificial neurons. That's called. There are plenty of artificial neurons are there. I will explain that thing later. Layers, uh, activation functions are there. Loss functions are there. Back propagation are there, and lot of plenty items are there. And one more thing, one thing. Uh, I just explained the concepts of this thing, right? So now we have actually demonstrated this thing. So I got 65.47. So how I understand how much accurate is this value? For that you have to find MSE, mean square error, or you have to find RMSE, root mean square error. So this is the thing that you have to understand. Again, it's max. Got it? So finding a particular thing or just training, prediction, all those are mathematical things. And if you want to find the error value, how much accurate is this, that's also the mathematical part. So in the regression type of problems like this, you have to do you have to find RMSE, root mean square error. If RMSE is very less, you will get more accurate result. Got it? So just learn the equation for RMSE, then it's very easy. Okay, again, this thing, deep learning and neural networks. So here we have some artificial neurons and some um, functions are there, activation functions. Loss, here also loss is there. Loss is means we are actually finding the accuracy, and there are also back propagation algorithms. The concept is little bit complicated here in deep learning, but if you want to learn deep learning, first you have to understand the mathematical concept of vector, vectors, metrics, that type of concepts that we want here, especially matrix multiplication, matrix transpose, vector, especially 2D vector. So what is the advantage of vector? We can plot n number of vectors, which means n dimensional vector are there. Okay, so we can plot a particular picture in n dimensions. All those things are there. So this algorithm, this is completely vector, metrics, that type of things. So if you have a good foundation in that, this part will be very easy. But if you try to learn the source code, you don't bother about these metrics, vector, the only few lines of code. But if you want to learn that thing properly, and if you want to make this thing as a career, then you have to understand the foundations properly, mathematical foundations properly, then learning these concepts properly. That's very important. Got it? So there are plenty of algorithms are there, CNN, RNN, transformers, plenty of algorithms are there. So here, instead of scikit-learn, we use TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch, that type of libraries. Got it? And next step, you have to understand the model deployment and the APIs, which means, so here, see this, here I have just trained a data set. This is the data set that I have used. I have trained that data set using linear regression. Got it? Linear regression. And based on the linear regression, I have completed the prediction part. But you have to understand that here, this is not a professional way. See this? This is not a professional way. So how user is interacting in the terminal? So for example, next time if I want to find the weight of the person who has a height 170, I need to change the source code and execute it again. Now I got 77. So this is the concept that you have to understand. You can scale this to a professional application. For that, you have to learn some extra concepts, like in the Python we have a library called Flask. We have a library called Flask or Fast API. So with the help of Flask or a Fast API, you have to create APIs, and once you have created APIs, you can connect that thing with your web application as well as your mobile application. I just give a demo, then you will get the clear picture. So I have just created an API. Okay, so same algorithm, but I will demonstrate what I am doing. So I just executed that thing. Now this is a particular server that I have created and executed that same program. Okay, then if I develop a mobile application for that, okay, I have actually developed a mobile application. If I give a value 170, then predict, it's predicted 78, which means this prediction will happen here. For example, I am just 160, right? See this, 65.47. So I have created this as API, and I can connect that thing with a mobile application. So you should understand that this is an iOS application, that's Apple application, iPhone application or an Android application. You can connect your AI with that. Then user is interacting in this mobile application, but in the backend is performing the AI. Got it? If the server stopped here, I am stopping the server here, then I will not get any value. See this? Connection failed. Because this application don't have any intelligence. Right? So with the help of this backend, it is computing that. See this? What is that? 161? See this? 66.42. Got it. Similarly, I can create a web application. I can create a web application, which means a typical website. See this? I have created a website for that prediction. I'm just giving 160. See this? 65.7 kg. So I have created a web application. I have created a mobile application. All these things are interacting with the API that I have created. So this is the way that you can deploy a complete project. Got it. So that is the next thing that you have to learn. So for that you have to understand few extra concepts, which means you have to learn API development, how to connect, how to create mobile apps, how to call APIs, and if you want to develop a web application, you have to learn full stack. Got it? Either Python full stack or a main stack. So that type of things you have to learn. Also, if you want to deploy this thing in the cloud, you have to learn either how to deploy your AI model in AWS or a Google Cloud, that type of things, or a Hugging Face. Hugging Face is also a cloud deployment. So then you can create some real world applications that works with the AI. Got it. Then next step is generative AI. So at the end, I am actually you have to try the generative AI concept. You can't implement generative AI in each and every aspect. So where to apply generative AI? So I think now you got a clear picture about where to apply machine learning, where to apply deep learning, where to apply AI, and similarly you have to understand what is generative AI and what are the applications that you can implement using generative AI. As the name indicates that it is actually generating some new content. It is not going to do any predictions. It is generating new content. That content may be text, image, or audio. It is generating some new content. Got it? Yes. This is the thing that you have to understand. It is generating new content. So generating new content means you can just understand that ChatGPT is the perfect example for Gen AI applications. In the ChatGPT, it is not doing any predictions. It is generating some content. Got it. So in this scenario, I have used machine learning algorithm, right? So this weight is 65.47 kg. If I need to generate an advice for this particular person who has height 160 and weight 65.47, I need to generate some advice. I need to use generative AI. Got it. Then it will generate that advice for that particular person. Whether that weight is sufficient or not, what are the ways that they can improve underweight or obesity, that type of data that they will generate. So for that concept, you have to use generative AI concept. In the concept of generative AI, we have to use LLMs. LLMs means large language models. Got it. Large language models, LLMs. So LLM is nothing but um, the concept is very simple. There are plenty of LLMs are available. For example, GPT is the one LLM. Then Llama GPT is the LLM that is powered by ChatGPT. Then Llama is the one of the popular LLM that is powered by Facebook Meta. Okay. Then similar to that, we have plenty of LLMs are available. Maybe you have heard about BERT. BERT is the popular LLM that is powered by Google. So plenty of LLMs are available. So we can train our data with the help of that LLMs and we can generate some content. So that is the thing that you have to understand, the concept of generative AI. So which means you can use their LLM, which means you have to understand that GPT-2, I think you already know the concept of GPT, ChatGPT. GPT-5 is the latest version, but GPT-2, that's an old version, but you have to understand that GPT-2 is completely free and you can use GPT-2 in your applications as completely free for generating some extra contents. Got it? Okay. So if your project is like that, generating some music, audio, image, video, text, you can use generative AI concept. And in that, nowadays one career opportunity is very popular, prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is nothing but how to give the correct prompt for the queries. For example, if I have a problem to solve, how to give a exact prompt to get that query. So that's a prompt engineering. That's a wide field. You can just explore that. There are plenty of job opportunities in that prompt engineering field. Got it? And next thing you have to understand some ethics. Ethics and before that I will explain what is next. Nowadays you already know that generative AI is so popular. Similar to that, agentic AI is also popular. What is agentic AI or agents? AI agents. You have to understand that we can create agentic AI or AI agents for doing a particular task. Okay, and what is the importance is that we can use that as a private assistant AI. For example, if you want a private, if you want an AI that always assist your daily activities, so that you have to develop an agentic AI. So there are plenty of platforms are available: LangChain, Crew AI, AutoGPT. All these are agentic tools or libraries that you can use to create agentic AI. For example, in the medical field, if you want to create an AI that do the surgery, for example, kidney transplantation surgery, I can create an agent, right? So that agent will do that task. Similarly, in a company, I can replace an HR with the help of agentic AI. Got it? Which means I can create an agentic AI based AI agent that do all the activities that an HR can do in a company. Similarly, I can multiply that agents. Got it? I can multiply that agents. So once you multiply that agents, that will same as multiple HRs in that company. Got it? And they will share that information. These multiple agents can share that information and they will work like that. Which means you have to understand that will replace the entire humans in that company. So this is the trending thing right now. That's why you have heard about lot of job losses in the companies. or layoffs in the company due to agentic AI. Got it. Nowadays, most of the customer care executives, you know that earlier, uh, maybe you have heard about Southern Line, right? That's a customer care company that hires a lot of people. But nowadays they have actually lay off almost 40 percentage of the employees, and they are actually using this agentic AI concepts, which means instead of that a physical executive, this agentic AI is actually responding, right? So this is the future of AI, personal assistant AI, agentic AI. So this is the main thing that you have to understand. So in this era, right, in this era, first you have to understand, if you learn all these concepts, you can survive, which means you have that type of opportunities, how to build AI applications, how to create AI models, how to create an agentic AI, how to create an agent. That type of job opportunities are there. Got it. So that's why I have mentioned that plenty of job opportunities are arising in the field of AI. It's a high demanding right now. And one more thing, you have to understand about the ethics part. This is the thing that you have to understand, ethics. So this is a typical social commitment part. So if you build an AI application, whatever it is, generative AI or agentic AI or normal AI or machine learning, you have to follow some ethics. Your data should be biased, your result should be biased. You have to keep the privacy, you have to give importance to privacy. For example, if you are dealing with lot of data, you should give importance to the privacy. For example, if you are dealing with a cancer detection application, maybe you are getting lot of patients data from a particular hospital, so you have to keep the privacy. Likewise, you have to follow all the copyrights, data governance rules, and you have to audit your AI. That type of things are there, and which means this is also another field, ethics. So those who want to do some research in the field of AI, so this is the one area that you can focus, ethics and responsible AI. If you want to publish a paper, for example, if you are a BTech student or an MTech student, if you want to publish a paper, then if you are not interested in the coding, then you can take these type of things. Got it? So this is the thing that I have mentioned so far. So first you have to start with your Max, then learn Python, then the deep learning, then machine learning part, machine learning simple algorithms, then deep learning. Got it? Then how to deploy your applications, and how to, you have to create some projects, that's a full stack or a mobile application development projects. Then generative AI concepts and agentic AI, that's the last part or advanced part that you have to learn. So this is the basic thing that you have to understand, how to explore your AI journey. Got it? So if you have any questions, you can uh, ask. Also, you can mark your attendance. Okay, you can scan your attendance code, and you can just give your attendance. Attendance is mandatory for issuing the certificates. So in the meantime, also you can ask your doubts. Just unmute and speak if you have any doubts. hope all of you have scanned this QR code. Okay. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any questions, please let me know. So we have an upcoming AI internship program. Okay, that will start on October 17. Okay, so the registration is now open. So those who wish to start your AI journey with us, we will uh, teach each and everything from very basics. Got it? And um, we will actually uh, give guidances, right? So you can create ML models, right? And neural networks, deep learning basics. Okay, if you want to start your journey with us, we will definitely help you through this internship program. This is an AI internship program, and you can. It's a 6-day online internship program. You will get your certificates, and if you are a student, you can use it for your KTU credits also. And yeah, if you want to become a hero in the AI, you can just join with us. So this is an upcoming program. So if you really wish to join, you can just go to www.linkyourcourse.com/ai. That's official website. So you can register. Only few seats are available. You can register your slot. Okay, so registration will close within few days. So those who are interested, you can join in that 6-day online internship program. So I hope you enjoyed our session. So if you have any feedbacks, you can just give it. Also, we have created a WhatsApp group. Okay, so try to join in that. I think you already got that information in your email. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you don't have any questions, just put X in the chat box, and we will definitely share a feedback form. That's an official feedback form. You just fill that form, okay? So that you will get on next day, and your certificates we will issue within 10 days. Okay, that will automatically get in your uh, email. So don't forget to mark your attendance by filling that Google form. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Likewise, if you have to give any feedback, it's your turn. You can just unmute and speak your experiences. And those who are newcomers, this AI internship program that will definitely give a clear picture about all those concepts that I have mentioned. Okay, so try to join if you are really interested. So certified program, it's a hands-on sessions, completely online. Got it? So in that program, we are actually doing each and everything, and you will get the recordings also. So if you have anything to share, please let me know. If you have any doubts. Okay, so thank you so much, and wishing you a very happy journey. So thank you so much.